Right then, we're going to roll our pasta. So this has been resting just out the fridge. So I don't know how well you're going to see this because the machine's over there and they do create quite long strips. Now I'm using an electric machine. You're about to whine, you guess. Well, you know. However, if you have the hand version, it's exactly the same. You've just followed the same principle other than you're winding the handle, and that's doing it for me. Believe me, I've done it with both. And to be fair, the one with the handle is actually more controllable than the machine because you were actually dictating what you're doing and the speed you want. This kind of, you're set to the speed and it does it itself, and if it goes wrong, you kind of you've got to stop the machine and that. So all I'm doing is I'm just now this side with a bit of flour. So there I've got some flour on the top. I'm going to make a bit of a mess with this. I'm going to look like the B-roll man again, as always. But what we're trying to do is just flatten it out, and we set our rollers to the widest possible setting. And we're going to go through a process called lamination, and I'll explain what that's about. But it's essentially the equivalent of kneading the dough, pasta dough, which we mixed, didn't we? And we've rested, but it's not being kneaded. So this is actually what actually needs it. So I create a bit of a taper on one end. Make sure there's plenty of flour because we don't want anything sticking. And this is probably the wetter side of what you want. A couple of grams less eggs, it would have been better. But this is the extent. I'm used to working with it. So widest setting, get it on, and then put it through. See that come through. So as that's coming through, there we go. Probably put that up to speed too for next time. So onto my work surface, and same thing again, let's just get plenty of flour on there. This is what we want. Both sides, get plenty of flour on there. Just don't have like big clumps. Just dust it with your hand across there, so it's just none of it's sticking. So lamination is basically this. So if we get I'll have to move it across. So I'm actually, if you measure that sort of width there, and I'm going to pull the dough over one side and over the other side there to about the same width. Compress one end and put it back through, and that's lamination number one. Don't turn it number two. Get a bit faster. There we go. Same thing again, and we're going to repeat that. We're going to do that 6 times. Once you've got the first one through, we've kind of got the width we want. It's a bit shorter, so when we laminate it now, you're only folding one way and the other. The first time you'll have seen it, I give it an extra fold just because it was a bit too long. If you compress one end down, it just makes it easier to go through. You're always aiming to get it about the same width, roughly. Because when, so that's number two. Because when you come to actually fit it out, it stretches in any way. But roughly, we're just roughly going through. Right, number three, lamination number three. Like I say, this is only one of the pieces of pasta. There's another piece in there for something else. Now it does shrink after you put it through. It does shrink back, and if you just keep plenty of flour on, don't forget compress one side down. So when it goes through, it just goes through nicely. Same again. You'll find if you don't do this, if you don't do the lamination, when you come to cook it, because it's not being properly kneaded, what you'll find is the pasta gets a bit thick, so it kind of swells up a little bit. But by kneading it, laminating it, as we're doing here, it sorts that problem out. I don't know how many we've done. I think that must be number 4. That. So same again. Just it. This is going to be number 5. There we go. Go on. Well, bit skew width going through there, but it's all right. We'll recover that. This is the same process. Sometimes you don't always get it coming through nice and neat and everything else, but if we can, just by doing that every time, if it's not floured and it can stick, which we don't want, and if it's also too much flour, it can skid. So that's why the whole point of like patting it, we don't want it to skid through, we want it to actually go through. So this is our final one, and if it isn't, make sure you do 6. And this is where we start taking it down. So there we go. So a bit more flour over the top. Any big clumps of it, just get it on. And this is where we just start reducing it down one at a time. So there we go. Next one. And I'm looking for about the finest setting I can get. It's just going to get longer every time. I might have to actually cut it down, because it is going to get rather long. You'd be surprised. So each time it goes through, just it will shrink back. That's part of what it does. You just make sure it's still nicely, floured. Next one, getting through there, and then we'll just keep on reducing it down. And you can see it's just getting longer and longer and longer. There is ways in which you can get doing it as a continuous process. I won't show you how to do that because it's a bit of a skill and you've got to be a bit kind of fast with it. But it involves joining the two ends together. So as one comes out, you join the other one on, and it almost becomes like a belt, which is doable, but we don't want to, I can't remember whether I knocked the belt. Probably didn't. The numbers are quite, no, I think I did. It's getting longer. Yeah, it's definitely getting longer. And I don't know if you noticed, see the colour, the yellow colour. It's quite a beautiful colour, and that's all down to those eggs. Down again. A few more seconds to go. Yes, get one more throw. I might actually cut it after the next one. And sometimes you just got to guide it. If you're doing it by hand, I've done it by hand. It's fine. Honestly, there's no panic. It'll definitely get longer. Definitely get longer. There. There you what. Imagine making spaghetti out of that one. Imagine the size of the fork you're going to need. So let's, I'll tell you what we'll do with this. We'll half it. So that's roughly half there. I'll just cut that down in half. And we'll, it just makes it a bit more manageable, to be fair. So I'll put that over there. That one. There we go. And this is looking absolutely fine. It's a beautiful piece of pasta. And look there, it's absolutely lovely. And that's probably the width you'd have it if you were doing lasagna or something like that. But we're going. There we go. That's it. I'll just curl the end up. There we go. There we go. Go through there. And I've got one more setting to go to get the finest. So what I'll do is I'll do this one. And then I'll do that one. And I might even half them again, to be fair. But see how we go. See how we go. Get that nice and straight, that one. It's a bit dodgy the end on this. We'll end up cutting that off, which is alright. We can do that. There we go. There we go. Sometimes you just got to guide it with the other hand, just so it all goes through nice and straight. So, I mean, you can see my hand through there. You can probably see my fingers through there. And I'm actually going to go the finest. Yes, the finest. Tell you what I'm going to do. Just switch it off and I'll just do a little bit. I'm going to half this again, and I'm going to take it through one more time. It's just going to make it manageable on the top, because if I'm filling, I'm going to be cutting circles out to make the tortellini. And if I've got loads of bits of pasta kicking around, yeah, it'll just be easier to manage. So let's take it to the finest setting, get that away, and let's go. Oh yeah, tinker. There we go. I'm going to go through there and off. thinking about it. There we go. So there we are. This is like tissue paper coming through now. Beautiful. Beautiful. And there we go. There's sheet number 1. Now if you put it on there, it will shrink back fine. I totally expect that to happen. Sheet number 2, let's go with this one. Right. It's probably gone a little bit longer at that end. There we go. Sheet number 2. There we go. It's all looking nice. Sheet number 3. Let's not quite put through there. Let's do it properly. There we go. Always start with the thinnest end if you've got it. Just makes it easier to manage. There we go. To manage all the way through. Now what I'm going to do, I'll get the final one through here, and then I'm going to leave it rest for a couple of minutes, sort my bag out and stuff like that, and stop the video, and we'll come back and we'll get ourselves set up to make our tortellini. So the last one, just going through now. I mean, you could do it that thickness, but I think the finer it is, the better. So let's have a go. Sometimes, yeah, it can be a bit tricky if it's a square end going through. It doesn't always want to catch it straight away. And that's it. There's our 4 bits of pasta. All nice, fine, delicate, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Lovely yellow colour. Honestly. I don't know what I'm smelling it for. It doesn't smell like anything. But I'm going to set that to side. So I'm going to stop the video now. I'm just going to make sure these are all straight and not overlapping. And then we'll get our filling, and then I'll get my machine sorted out and what have you, and then we'll be making tortellini. So that's the next stage done. So we'll see you very soon.